Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for Transforming Your Data Strategy, brought to you by Quadrabyte, Data.World, and DataOps.live. We're going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to get into the webinar and make sure that everyone can see the screen. Just as a reminder for those participants that have already joined, we do have two features within this webinar, a chat feature where you can have general discussion and questions with the panelists and the host, as well as a Q&A section where you can drop your questions in for the end of the webinar, where we will go through a live Q&A and answer all the questions that you've provided to us. Just at a very high level, what we're going to be reviewing today is we're going to go through speaker introductions of all of our amazing speakers here and let them give a brief introduction of themselves. Then we'll go through an approach and success with Quadrabyte on how we help our customers with Snowflake and data governance and DataOps and CI/CD. After that, we'll take a look at Data.World, where we'll discuss and deep dive into data governance within your Snowflake environment, followed by a live demo. Following that, we will go into our CI/CD data ops discussion, take a look at what they have to offer, as well as go into a live demo there, and then proceed on into a live Q&A. Our speakers today, myself, Ronnie Stillman, Chief Executive Officer for Quadrabyte. We've got John Loyens with Data.World, and we also have Mark Bartlow with DataOps.live. John, would you like to give a brief introduction?
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you so much, Ron, for having us on today. I'm John Loyens. I am the Chief Data Officer of Data.World and love working with both Quadrabyte and DataOps.live. And I think, really excited to kind of show off how the combination of a great business-facing data catalog and DataOps.live can form an incredible front and back office for all of your data analytics environment management.
All right, thank you, John. We're very excited to have you here. Mark, would you like to go next?
Yeah, Mark Bartlow, Senior Sales Engineer, but as Steve could attest, I do a lot of things here at DataOps.live, and I just like working here and trying to help the world be a better, more governed place. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for being here. Steve, would you like to do an introduction as well?
Sure. Thank you very much, Ron. Steve Huber, Chief Revenue Officer at DataOps.live. Been with the venture since the very beginning and the launch over 4 years ago, 30 years in the data space, and really excited about today's topic. We have super relationships with both Data.World and Quadrabyte with great customer successes behind us. So we look forward to sharing some insights with all of you today.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So getting started, we're going to go through some approaches and success that we have seen at Quadrabyte and kind of give you a little bit of background into how we have approached implementing both of these great tools within organizations that have Snowflake at their core. We're going to talk briefly about why this is very important for organizations and companies, why this drives success, why this can help drive higher revenue, more insights into your data, all of the things that you would need to be successful in your data-driven journey. So who are we as a company? So Quadrabyte was founded in 2019. As you can see on the right-hand side, we have 4 core pillars that we focus around. That's data, analytics, AI and machine learning, as well as blockchain as a data service. And one of the main reasons that we founded Quadrabyte was to provide organizations and companies with a way to what we call the intelligence economy, fuel the intelligence economy. And all of this is brought together through partnerships, such as what we have with Data.World and DataOps.live. It's brought together with partnerships with people like you, our customers and our potential customers. And what we really wanted to do was drive success within organizations by bringing the best of breed to these organizations and helping them to get ramped up quickly. So what we do on the backside is we go out and we vet all of our partners before we bring them into our ecosystem. And we are always recommending and suggesting and helping companies pivot so that way they can continue to grow and evolve as they continue growing their business. So what do we commonly see as pitfalls whenever we approach a new organization or a new project? The first thing that we see is a damaging status quo. So a lot of people, they don't really understand the health of the data within their organization. And they just kind of limp along, whether this is data silos or it's not having a fully governed data orchestration system, or they just don't fully comprehend what data they have at their fingertips, or maybe they just don't know. And so they've just got away with going through the status quo, kind of limping along. They're making some progress, but they're really not seeing that explosive growth that data can bring to their organization. The next one is the rush to enrich data. So a lot of times companies like go straight to how can we get more out of this data? How can we enrich it? How can we evolve it? And many companies aren't really thinking about how they're utilizing that data. So we've seen time and time again, companies bring in just terabytes worth of data, and then they have nothing to do with it. They don't have any reports, they don't have analytics, they're not using AI and machine learning. Essentially, that data is just growing stagnant inside of a set of tables in a database. And we want to get our organizations that we work with out of that mindset of rushing to an integration or rushing to enrichment, and more utilizing what you have and then building from there. The big one for us is a need for data governance as well. That kind of sets front and center, because overarching everything that we're going to talk about today, Snowflake or whatever your data warehousing is today, your processes and procedures, your CI/CD solution, your data pipelines, all of that has one core overarching thing in common, and that is a need for data governance. And a lot of times companies and organizations, they don't really understand what that means and what that entails. You might see processes that they put in place and they think that it's data governance, but really they're only like 5% of the way there. You might see a slew of spreadsheets and data dictionaries that are very hard to maintain. You don't have proper buy-in, they quickly fall out of date, and they're just not a good source of information to go to. And you might also see that you don't have investment with your business stakeholders, which is the most important part of your data journey, is getting that business involved. Data is not a one-time event. This is another common pitfall. A lot of companies, when they embark on their data journey, they have one cutover solution, and then they think that everything is just good from there. And that is not the case. Continuous integration, continuous development, continuous improvement, those are all key words that we are always honing in on with our customers and having them think about not just the current project, but where they want to be in the future. And then, of course, choosing the right partners. One of the reasons that we at Quadrabyte excel in what we do is because we're very focused on those core pillars, even to the point where sometimes we might partner with another partner in the ecosystem to bring in services that we don't directly service. Because at the end of the day, we want to do what's near and dear to our hearts, and that is data, that's AI and machine learning. That is everything that we've talked about up to this point, everything that we're going to talk about. By staying true to our DNA, we can continue to provide the best in breed service, we can continue providing the best consultants, and we can continue providing the best pricing. So what is the intelligence economy? So we've already talked about this briefly, and everything in your data journey has a history to tell. And so what we see is back in the 1900s, we had this manufacturing economy where, manufacturing was the big deal. And then slowly that evolved into distribution and supply chain, following into the 90s where we had the dot-com boom, moving into social economy, customer economy, and eventually ending up in intelligence economy. And what does intelligence economy really mean? Well, through all this evolution that we see on the screen, one thing has been core, and that is data mining. We've received all of this data, whether that's online orders, that's how our customers are engaging with our company, that's how satisfied our customers are with our product or our business. And all of this data can tell a story, and that story can help you determine where do we need to pivot, where did we have shortcomings, and where can we grow into as an organization. So on the screen here, 73% of business leaders say that improving the experience of customers is a top priority. We achieve that through data. Everything that you do as an organization at the end of the day boils back down to what data do you have? What data are you delivering to your business and your business leaders? And how are you using that data to service your customers and your potential customers? Our methodology for success, as we talk about these two great tools, our methodology can fit into that as well as any other project that we bring to the table. The first is that we define. And what this means is we come in and we do a full evaluation of your organization. We determine what it is that you're trying to achieve. We provide recommendations for your end goal, sometimes helping you to move that finish line a little bit, whether that's forward or backward, depending on what we determine is the best for your company. And then we talk about what fits into that ecosystem of a data-driven organization. And so that's, like we said, best in breed tools, that's processes, that's methodology, that's procedures. And then we bring all that together, and then we start building a design around that, the next step in our methodology. That design includes everything from architecture to strategy to development, to even leaving you, the customer, with a way to step away from what we've done as a project and continue growing on your own, continue running towards that finish line, moving those goalposts ever further out as you continue to grow as a company. Our build is very hands-on and collaborative. We come in, we focus on what it is that we need to do, always making sure that we're ready to pivot as you see fit, as requirements change and evolve. One thing that we've learned from our experience is that requirements are never set in stone, especially when we're talking about data. So during this build process, it's a very collaborative process. And what we're doing here is, as we dive into your transformations, your data pipelines, your data governance, we're also identifying other areas for improvement, other areas that we can give recommendations to, and just continuing to help you grow your data-driven strategy. This flows into our test, deploy, and go live, where we do end-to-end user acceptance testing. We get our production support team ready for you to deploy to a production environment. And then as we move into that deployment and that go live period within this entire process, we help make sure that your production environment is stood up. We make sure that business users can actually access it. And then we help moving into succeed, equipping you with the tools that you need to pick this up and move forward. Our motto here is that we don't want to put golden handcuffs on our customers. We bring these great tools to you, help you get them set up and implemented, arm you with what you need to close out the project and continue moving forward on your own. And we leave you behind with a set of great tools, a set of great processes, and even a great set of customer support representatives from anyone that we recommend. I can attest from some of the user stories that we're going to go through later on that both organizations that are on this call, Data.World and DataOps.live, they have been very great about responding to customer engagement, making sure that customers are set up for success, not just in the implementation, but in the entire life cycle of development and growth and evolution. And you couldn't ask for two better technology partners and vendors to work with than the two that we have with us today. So what do our success stories look like? Looking at the world of renewable energy, that's very big right now. We're talking about renewable energy a lot. One of the things that one of our customers that was in the solar industry was looking to do is they wanted to drive better solar efficiency, increase their cells, lower the cost of those assets out in the field, that being the solar panels, the batteries, the inverters, and improve the overall customer success. One of the things that they wanted to overcome was the stigma that solar had kind of developed over the last few years, that solar, could be scammy, or that it didn't work, or that it was just a sales tactic to get people to pay more money. And in order to do that, they had to increase their solar efficiency and make sure that they were responding to customers, servicing their units out in the field, and overall making sure that their entire customer base was just satisfied and seeing a savings. So some of the things that we did was we cut their time in half across all of the technology vendors that they went with, specifically Snowflake DataOps and Data Governance with Data.World. We developed for them an end-to-end architecture, so that way they could have all of their technology feeding into a single repository and feeding out to a unified business intelligence environment. We're helping them establish data governance at all levels of their organization, and we're helping them to drive success through analytics and powerful AI models. This was especially difficult for us to do because of all of the challenges we had to overcome within their data, disparate data sources. And then, of course, we had to go into pioneering new ways to look at data. Renewable energy is so new to our economy, as a vertical for everybody. And how do we take what they're getting, data that hasn't really been touched or seen a lot, and help that grow and evolve into something meaningful? So how do we achieve success? Well, our foundational data model includes an integration to a core data warehouse or data repository. And then from there, feeding that into your BI environment, your reporting dashboards, any system that you have downstream. This could also be customer portals, other databases that are being used by your partners. And underarching all of this is your CI/CD and your data governance processes. These two things are very important when you're talking about a data strategy because you want to have repeatable transformations, you want to have repeatable pipelines, you want to know that your code that you're deploying to a production environment has been fully tested and vetted. And then from the data governance side, you want to have trust in your data, you want to have trust in your metrics, and that's what both of these tools bring to us. So moving over, we're going to dive into the Data.World live demo. John?
I'm on mute. I'm sure everybody could see my mouth going, I'm on mute, everybody. Oh no, it is great to be on here, and thank you so much for the kind words, Ron, in particular. Really, really do appreciate your partnership and what you're able to bring to our mutual customers. That feeling obviously extends to the data ops crew as well. Really excited to be bringing everybody this demo today, and I want to set the stage quickly with just a couple of slides. I'm not going to bore people with a ton of slideware here, but do want to walk through this a little bit, again, to set the stage of what we do with the Data.World product, and then also how that integrates and works with DataOps to ensure that you have this really great and well-oiled data management environment where every persona who's working in your data analytics lifecycle knows the roles that they play and at what phase and stage all these assets are actually in. Our vision, I'm one of the co-founders of Data.World. Our vision has always been to truly enable trust at scale in the data analytics practice within the enterprise. And what we always felt was missing in the data analytics lifecycle was front office software, right? For data analytics, where is the software that can help instill trust, transparency, and visibility into the entire life cycle, and disseminate knowledge about all the available data assets and data products that you have in your environment to the entire organization, thus enabling fast and real-time data-driven decision-making within the business without the kinds of hemming and hawing and hand-wringing around, did we use the right data for this? Did we look at the right thing? Is it high quality data? What segmentation did you use? Et cetera, right? Like, we want to be like Salesforce.com is to your sales and marketing efforts. We want to be that to your data analytics efforts. We want to be what the Atlassian suite is to your product engineering efforts, and helping you manage your software development lifecycle to managing your data analytics lifecycle. With us as the front office for data analytics, we want to bring together every persona, all the data producers, the engineers, architects, and data stewards who work at bringing all of your data assets together and creating great data products into a single place to interact and collaborate so that your data consumers know what assets are there. They know who and how to ask questions from. They know the state of play around governance, approvals, anything that they need to get access and to very quickly put data to use to come up with great new insights, build ML and AI models, new dashboards that, again, you're going to trust and make decisions with. We really see ourselves as that front office for data analytics. And what's great about the combination of DataOps.live and Data.World is between the two of us, you got Data.World to be your front office, and you got DataOps.live to be your supply chain. Right? Think about DataOps.live like your ERP system for your entire, the life cycle of your data products, right? It's going to monitor and manage all the manufacturing of your data products, and we're going to make sure everybody knows how to use those data products for you, right? In the Snowflake ecosystem, we are the most integrative and we believe most innovative catalog and governance platform for Snowflake. We actually have built our platform on top of Snowflake. We work across the entire data analytics stack but we do work well and love working with Snowflake and Snowflake focused platforms like the DataOps platform as well. You know, we've had great customer success, and we love turning our customers and our partners into raving fans of Data.World. And you know, we love this particular quote from Vic Parmer, who, you know, literally said, if you don't choose a data catalog platform built on a knowledge graph, which is how our platform is architected and enables us to really capture and get really great adoption across the enterprise, you're not going to set yourself up for success in the AI future, because what you'll find is you'll be able to take the knowledge graph that's built as part of your data catalog and apply that to your AI initiatives. You know, our catalog covers a real breadth of functionality, everything from cataloging to governance to enabling visibility into the data operations pipeline running on top of DataOps.live, while giving you that great visibility into all your data assets and giving all the personas that participate in the data analytics lifecycle a real job to be done, right? Oops, we're not ready for the DataOps.live demo yet. I want to show off what a great front office for data analytics looks like, right? So here we are. We've got our demo environment running. And again, as a front office, we want to give people an incredible homepage where they can see, you know, the status of all the different things that they're working on, bookmarks that they have for all the different data projects that they've been working on, and things that they can do in the platform. But let's face it, a great data catalog, you know, really works to help you find, understand, use, and reuse the data assets that you have. So the first thing it starts with is this idea of semantic search, where I was able to search on a concept like average order value. And using our knowledge graph-based technology, I can show you all the things that go into computing a metric like average order value with a simple semantic search across this enterprise. Now, you know, you have all the different resource types here that you might need. You know, if you're an analyst looking to figure things out, you know, different status filters that might get approved to the, might get tagged to this particular concept, different collections of assets, owners for, you know, these assets as well. But if I go full screen here, I can really start, you can really start seeing how in the Data.World platform and leveraging our knowledge graph, you can really create a single pane of glass to really understand the state of any particular data asset that you have. Everything from ownership, acronyms, glossary terms that are associated with it. We can pull in screenshots from dashboards, right? If I want to understand how this is computed, I can find the table that it's computed from. I can, you know, leverage our workflows to get access to that particular asset, right? We can enrich the metadata for this asset with everything from lineage. You know, if you're using your data catalog to track the status of, say, a migration from one platform to the next, you can put, you know, migration statuses, and all of these statuses and fields that are attached to these resources are completely customizable, you know, to the level of maturity that your organization may be in and the different plays and processes that you're running across your data stack. So you might be undertaking a modernization process and need to know, like, hey, have I migrated this asset to my Snowflake yet? Right? Yes, no, where is it at? Right? Where's the DataOps.live transform that you might be running to do this? Is it in dev? Is it in stage? Is it in prod? You can bring all that metadata in. You can bring in very business-friendly versions of data quality checks that you might integrate to a number of our great data quality platform partners as well. You know, lineage is one of the most popular features that we support here at Data.World, giving you full upstream and downstream dependency analysis so that your data engineers can move with confidence as they start to make change and communicate the status of this out to the rest of the organization. You know, like I said, a data catalog really is meant to help you find, understand, and trust your data assets. I'm showing off some of the functionality that we have to do that, but what about putting it to use? Well, at Data.World, we also have the ability to create data sets, which are our kind of business-friendly representation of data products and enable people to get access to that data right away, to start writing queries against it and to ship it off into analysis environments that they may want to use. So of course, as you're doing that and tracking that in Data.World, you create full visibility from the data engineer all the way to your data scientist or analyst, and then all the way up to your VP of analytics, to your CDO, who might want to know what data is being used in what process. And that's another bit of what the Data.World platform provides, because unlike other catalog and governance platforms, we really want to be a platform that gets adoption and captures the work as it's being done in bite-sized chunks. So the data cataloging, data curation, running your governance process isn't a chore, and it's just something that fits into the day-to-day workflow, much like a Jira would or Trello would for a software engineer. We believe your data catalog should be that same tool that really helps you move along the different phases of the life cycle as you produce new data products in your supply chain, which is all orchestrated by DataOps.live. So with that, I want to turn it over to my friends at DataOps.live to give a demo of their platform as well.
Thanks, John. Mark, do you want to just share the intro slide?
Ronnie, go back to the slide, just the intro slide for us, and then I'll take it over for the demo. Great. I think it's that slide 18. There you go.
All right, thank you, Ronnie. All right, everyone. So just to sort of dovetail into part of what John covered, through our lens, when customers are engaging DataOps.live, it's largely focused on, the build, curation, and governance and lifecycle management of either data products or data applications that they want to build on Snowflake. And like Data.World, we are also super committed to our relationship at Snowflake. We're one of the elite partners. They're an investor and they're a very large customer of ours as well. So we definitely take this journey very serious around this entire process. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight in sort of presenting the upfront image of what you should consider with DataOps.live in conjunction with Data.World is really this whole process of what happens before you start the process of building a data product, a native app or a data application, and then what happens once you build it, right? And you're going to manage it. And so, our view is that a product like Data.World has a very strong fit in both the beginning of the process as well as the back end of the process. And so in that pre-process, as you can imagine, you need to focus on being able to find what data is available for you to use. And you need to be able to understand that data and the correct information that you're seeking. And you need to have trust in that data that's available to you, right? That it's the right audience, it's the right quality, it's the right lineage, and so forth. And then what you're going to want to do when you're building out these assets, data products, native apps, data applications, is people want to go fast, right? And so we've had this ability to really accelerate and collapse the amount of time it takes to build these assets from many months down into weeks or days, right? And in fact, one of the things that we love about our partnership with Quadrabyte is Ronnie and his team has literally taken customers from ideation into production in less than 90 days with DataOps.live. So a real practitioner with amazing expertise. And so DataOps.live will really sit at the focal point of everything that you're going to do to create those assets, and then most certainly to be able to lifecycle manage them. And once they are built, right, you want to ensure that those data products are stored in a way that is easily discoverable, and they need to be well governed, and they need to be shareable, not just the documents, but the metadata as well. And then any updates are captured and highlighted specifically. And so that's where the combination of DataOps.live and Data.World, I think, are incredibly valuable to customers that are serious about building these assets on the Snowflake platform. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to my colleague Mark to actually show you how it works.
All right. And once you stop sharing, I could start sharing. Great. And I'm going to dovetail on exactly what Steve said and what John said here. And I'm going to start in the catalog because that's where literally everything starts. And you could see in our DataOps.live organization here, I want to search for customer data, a customer database that we've been working on. And I'll start by discovering where that customer database is. And it should be very easy for me to find. There it is. And you can see already it's approved, one. So there's governance there. And in the description, the customer database, the Snowflake infrastructure and dbt core models created, managed, and maintained in DataOps.live. So as the citizen user or the business user, they already know where the trust is coming from. It's coming from DataOps.live, and all development work and promotion to prod with DataOps.live synced from CI/CD pipeline. So you have the assembly line, and I really like Ronnie's slide where he showed the chronology of how we got to where we are today in 2024. Think of us as being the assembly line for data in Snowflake. The way Ford built the assembly line for building cars to scale to 1 million a month, that's the way we scale 1 million data products a month, through building through the assembly line. So what I'm going to do is look at what we have, and I want to make a change. As a business user, I want to request a change so I could see first that the data is in Snowflake, and that's what I would expect. We could see 3 models were created there, and the samples, the customer, the line items, and the orders. And I'm curious to see, where does that customer data come from? And you could see it comes from Snowflake through transformation to the curated actual customer data. If I click on this, you can see that there are automated tests in here also. So this is very important, that customer key and nation key have tests. So let's see if I could find out where the tests are. And you could see there's my tests, and you could see customer has to be not null, governance, and it has to be unique. We can't have unique customers here. So we have to have unique customers, or otherwise we have bad system here. So if I look back at my models, the change I need to make is I want to find out how many orders each customer has and what they've spent. And we'll do that in DataOps.live. So we'll go over to DataOps.live, and you could see that I staged a change here. And notice DataOps.live, first thing off is we manage the environments. There's my customer spend environment where I made this change, and I'll show you how I did that to support what Steve said about our speed and agility here. And I have a sandbox where I could play around and make changes. And then I have the main, the prod environment, and you can see through the CI/CD pipeline right now that prod environment main was where I synced the data with Data.World, the customer data here. And you can see we built Snowflake, we built the model. So if I'm a technical user and a business user, I would expect that to correspond exactly to what I witnessed, what I just saw in the catalog. And I do. Customer orders, line items. And how did that get there? It got there with the metadata sync. The data.catalog, you could see Data.World catalog loaded in a full observability platform where you could observe exactly how that data got into Data.World. And then why is that important? Well, it's important because if we go back and look at the overview, we'll see that that was the last time it was updated with DataOps.live. So you have a record of exactly when this is uploaded, and you can even view that activity. So let's go in now and get that change into the environment here. So we'll get the change in by creating a merge request. This is very common practice today. We're going to take customer spend branch, merge it into main, and we'll compare the branches. You can see add customer data spend, and I'm just going to say see assist summary. So we're going to use the magic of modern technology to document my change here. And then when I create this merge request, what I'm doing is I'm building out that pipeline and I'm governing the repeatable, reliable process here. You can see there are two changes here, but look what DataOps.live Assist is doing. It's working on a summary of changes and it gave me my summary here. It did it better than I would ever do it. I would say change done. And you can see here it says sampled SQL's been added. This file will calculates the total orders and the amount spent by each, exactly what I wanted. And you can quickly see here, here's the change. We're adding this model and we're adding automated tests. So after we merge this into production, we should see a new model in the catalog and 2 new automated tests for the cust key being unique and not null. And what I'll do now is I'll prove it. So another level of governance, and I'm going to merge it. And this is going to kick off the pipeline, the assembly line, if you will, to build out that environment now with the change in. And this is going to take about 6 minutes or so to get to the catalog push. So what I'm going to do is show you how I created that change in DataOps.live in our development platform here. So I'm going to go to my sandbox. So I won't interfere with anybody else. You notice here my model. It's the customer model, line items and orders, and I want to get a quick view what's going on here. You can see, yeah, to create a new model of customers and orders, obviously we need the customer keys and that information, but we also need the orders. And you notice I'm doing this development in line here without having to run pipelines or anything like that, and it adheres to the environment. And yeah, there's the price. So let's do that. Let's create our model. And what I did is using the magic of new technology, I sent it to our Assist platform here. And what does that do? It provides a context. The customer data, that model, that's part of the context. So what else do I need? I need the orders. Let's get this out of the way. And let me ping in a prompt. So I have context and prompt. That means a working chatbot. So I'm going to create a new model in the samples directory. I'll name it samples customer spend SQL. And I will identify how many orders each customer has and what they've spent. When I submit this, it's going to build that for me. So talk about the ability to speed things up and everything like that. It would have taken me probably 30 to 45 minutes to write this SQL. And assuming I get it right, and assuming I take the right approach, I don't know. But look what it's done for me here. It's created this, and I could test this in line, see if it gives me what I want. Running, and yes, there it is. Customer name, number of orders, total spent. But I notice it's also picked up customers that have no orders that are inactive. So first of all, I don't necessarily like that, but I don't want anybody to see that. So I'll just say modify customer spend model to only include, what do we call it, number of orders. Orders greater than 0. And voila, it's going to go up. And I could have changed the SQL myself, of course. I'm good enough at SQL to know that I should be able to put a count greater than 0 somewhere in the SQL statement. But you can see right there, yeah, did that for me. And it's easier to have this conversation, this natural language conversation, and build as you go. So this is the way this was created here. And you can see, there it goes. Exactly what I want here. And the next piece is the tests. So SQL's great, models are great, but the automated tests, you always want people to be able to see it and use it. So I could say something like create file. Let's give it the right name. And this will be a configuration file. And we'll name it so it uses the models we just create. then, and let's say add automated tests. So again, automation key here. Or let's say C cust key, like we saw in the catalog. Not null and unique, adhering to what we said in our catalog. And we should be able to build out that configuration file right in front of our eyes. And there you go. Tests not null. So that's an example of how we build out an environment. And if you look into Snowflake, you could see that there are our environments right here. By creating branches, we're creating environments. And you can see right now that feature branch that created the customer spend, that's my new model that we're building and we're going to send to production. Total orders, total spent, not in production yet, but we should be getting there very shortly. So returning back to the pipeline, you could see perfect timing. We're right on the sync of the catalog. So let me go in and show you what we did. We built the model. So now in this production push, I expect to see the sampled customer spend, which I do. I expect to see a couple more automated tests here. And now I notice I do have 7 instead of 5, and we could see sampled customer spend is unique and it passed, meaning what we're pushing to the catalog, we're ensuring the data quality and the not null. So we're making sure that nothing is bad, not only in the database, but you could trust the catalog too. And there's our lineage push. So I could probably click in there and we could sit here and observe. This should take no more now than, and there it goes. It is absolutely loading the catalog, my catalog, the Data.World catalog, pushing it in. The dbt command completed successfully. Now we're starting the DataOps, Data.World Snowflake push here, and we're seeing it as it's actually happening. This would be important maybe to an engineer or somebody debugging the process. The business person wouldn't even care about this other than that it's successful and it works and it provides me the right data. And there we are. We're finishing.
Thank you for showing this off, Mark. And I'm sorry to interrupt your demo flow, but like, I'm so excited watching this. I want to interject because like, this is something that we recommend to so many of our customers. And we use this methodology internally as well for maintaining our data catalog. Putting this right in your CI/CD flow is so powerful because it means your data catalog is up to date. And to have a platform like DataOps.live orchestrating that rather than, just running the old catalog on a schedule where you could have lag, just really, again, it just really increases trust in those data products. So I'm so excited that you're showing this off, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, and this is done and it completed successfully. So guess what? Let's go back into our catalog now and let's see if we have some. There we go. 2 more automated tests. So without me doing anything, somebody searches the catalog and they see that the customer key tests for the sampled new model are there for not null, unique, and not null. And also, if we go in, there's our new model. So somebody says, oh, my customer spend model is there. And look, derived from sampled customer orders and customer and orders data, that was configured in the development. So we shifted left the validity of the catalog right in the data pipeline. That was propagated with the sync. And then last but not least here, let's see how this was derived. You could see that it was derived from Snowflake to the new models. And if you click on the transformations, you could see the cust key there. And you could see the very simple lineage view to see how it was traced through the system. So not only do we have the trust when it was updated, but we have the traceability too. And if we go back to the overview, you could see we were updated 3 minutes ago. And with that, I'll hand it back to Ronnie and we can continue on with the webinar.
All right. Thanks, John. Thank you, Mark. Two very powerful tools. What I really love about the synergy between those tools, to John's point, that automated integration with the data catalog, as you're updating your models, as you're updating your test cases, all of that can feed directly into your data catalog. There's no delay, there's no lag. It's immediately available to give you real-time insights, not just from the data that you're moving around, but also how that data was processed, how it's laid out. One of the things that we see our customers really loving is not just that automated integration, but also how it helps to grow and expand that data lineage inside of Data.World. I can't tell you how many times people have seen that data lineage and just thought, wow, this is a game changer for us. And so not just having the lineage, but having your CI/CD pipeline being able to continue to build and expand upon that lineage, it just does wonders for your business. We're going to jump back into our slide deck here. And this is the part where we jump into the Q&A. And I'm pulling up our Q&A. I had it up. Let me pull it back up again. So there are a few questions already. As a reminder to everyone that's participating, there is the Q&A down at the bottom. So feel free to drop your questions in. We've got plenty of time, so hopefully we can get through everyone's questions. I do see a few here, so we're going to go ahead and jump into those. The first question, this is going to be for both Mark and John. What is the typical lead time that you see to get up and running with the platform?
Do you want to start kick that off, Mark, or do you want me to?
Mark, you may be on mute.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. So the lead time is about to get to the first production pipeline running and syncing with Data.World. We could do it in as little as 3 to 4 weeks now. Literally, we have to do some scaffolding building. And as Ronnie said in that process he goes through, absolutely bang on. Follow the process that Ronnie presented early on. And within 3 weeks, I think, Ronnie, you have examples of 3 weeks probably, right? Getting somebody up running with useful, and I stress useful data that could be consumed by the enterprise and that anybody could search and find and rely on in the catalog. And that's the key, reliability in the catalog. Because as a business user, I'm not going to necessarily go into DataOps.live and search pipelines or configurations. But as I started my demo, I am going to search for the customer data, and I want to see where it comes from, where it goes to, what tests are being executed against it. So yeah, 3 weeks, I would say you could do. You could get that in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
generally
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
we generally quote implementation timelines to our customers of 2 to 8 weeks. But look, I've had customers get up and running in a couple of days, and it's certainly much easier to get up and running when your platform are these well-integrated tools like DataOps.live, right? And to Mark's point, it's all about establishing trust in your data analytics lifecycle, your people who are doing the data analytics work, creating visibility and transparency that generates that trust. So, while it's technically, I can get somebody up and running in a couple of days, technically, where more of your governance, call it heavy lifting and data catalog heavy lifting comes in, really comes down to what processes are you going to run through there? How are you going to socialize this with the broader data analytics community within your enterprise? And that's where, partners like Quadrabyte can really help you run those plays to really get up and running and establishing a great process end to end.
Yeah, definitely. And to both points, we can definitely either on your own or to the help of a company such as what we provide at Quadrabyte, we can definitely get you up and running very rapidly. But it's also important to note that we call this a data-driven journey for a reason. We can get you foundationally laid out. We can get you running in production. But both of these tools provide an entire roadmap to the journey that your organization is going to go on as it continues to grow and evolve. Your data ops strategy, which is your CI/CD, your pipelines, those are ever growing, ever evolving, and ever changing. Your data governance is always evolving as your organization grows and evolves, as your data model evolves. That data dictionary, that data catalog is going to continue to evolve with you. So when we talk about getting up and running, we can get you started rapidly, but this isn't, going back to the slide we referenced earlier, data isn't a one-time exercise. It's not a one-time thing. And these tools make it very easy to have repeatable standard operating procedures in place because of that whole concept that it's not one time. John, over to you. We actually have two questions here, and I think that they can lead into each other. The first one is, does Data.World have the capabilities to auto ingest our data model?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on what you're data modeling with, right? Like, what tools are you expressing that data model in? So, like, absolutely. So, if you're, running DataOps.live to manage and maintain a suite of DBT models, those models come in. They all interrelate through our lineage. If you maintain your model using other means, we've seen a lot of people document it in spreadsheets and things like that. We have an incredibly flexible metadata model that will enable you to do those imports, grab that information, bring it into Data.World, and map that to a metadata model as well.
Okay, great, thank you. And then a question for both you and Mark. Do any of these tools integrate with external tools such as Irwin for data modeling and Azure DevOps code repos and CI/CD?
Yeah, for external tools, we do have a rich set of orchestrators. And what you saw in the demo, in those pipeline, each of those jobs, think of those as a call out, if you will, to third-party tools. So we have it for data ingestion tools. For modeling Irwin tools, we would have to work with you on that to figure out exactly what you would want to create. And we have really what's a developer kit. It's really a Docker container where we could probably pull that off. And as far as another repo, we could mirror in and mirror out to any other repo. So that's the way we would do it. We would still have a project created in DataOps.live, but you would be able to mirror it in or out with another repo like Azure DataOps. So yeah, I think we could accommodate that.
Yeah, really the same answer as Mark here. We have an extensive list of metadata collection facilities. We have integrated and brought in metadata from Irwin before. But also if you need to do something custom or bulk import, that's, a very achievable thing and very straightforward to do with our knowledge graph architecture.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question, I can take a stab at this one. Are we able to use Snowflake credits to purchase these products through the marketplace? At a very high level, yes. This is what Snowflake likes to call capacity drawdown, where you can leverage your unused Snowflake credits towards partners that are in the marketplace. Mark, John, is there anything extra that you'd like to add to that?
I
No,
mean,
Steve,
other than the normal provisos of using credit drawdown, we think it's a great program, and we're happy to support folks who want to purchase our platform like that.
Yeah, Steve, anything you want to add on that?
No, it's the same. We have many customers who take advantage of capacity drawdown. There are some requirements around it in terms of how many credits you have, in terms of how much you can use to acquire different tools, but very easy to do. Happy to support.
Yeah, and a great way to leverage some of your unused credits as you're coming up to renewal of your contract as well.
Yep.
Another question again for both teams. Do either of these solutions take advantage of internal Snowflake functionality such as the Snowflake semantic engine or container services? I know that each product does have some functionality here. So Mark, would you like to go first? And then John, we can flip over to you.
Yeah, so yeah, the DataOps.live platform, the actual execution piece of it, when you saw that job running, it's running in a runner. We could install that right in Snowpark Container Services. So you could get as tight as you want with Snowflake, and the development environment, which you saw in the demo where I was building those SQL models and testing. Our development environment is going to be capable of building out Snowpark Container Services to build any type of application. And this is especially important with the emerging native apps in Snowflake. We're going to be the de facto native app builder for Snowflake. So the answer is an emphatic yes to that.
I mean, again, I'm going to mirror what Mark said here, where, we really pride ourselves on being early adopters of the things that make Snowflake unique, making sure that they are reflected and represented in the data catalog. We try to be first to market, if not always first to market. I can only think of a couple of times when we haven't been, with integrations to things like Snowflake tag management, to Snowflake data metric functions, to Snowpark UDFs, right? Cataloging and bringing those in, doing lineage for stuff like that. We really want to be the best and most integrated data catalog to the Snowflake platform. Additionally, we were a launch partner for Snowpark containers, for native apps running on Snowpark container services. So we have a plugin that actually runs as a native app and brings Data.World closer, brings you access to our APIs and everything running in a native app running on top of Snowpark container services. Really proud to be able to partner with Snowflake on initiatives like that. I think it shows our dedication to the Snowflake ecosystem.
Okay, great. Next question. Again, I think I can take this one, but Mark, if you want to add on at the end, does DataOps support the development of custom model test? In short, yes. And the reason I kind of wanted to take this one is we have a customer that we are in an ongoing project with as they continue growing and evolving, that came to us and wanted to create a data quality rules engine. And so we've already laid the foundation for this. We've built a number of rules, and we're still building those rules as they continue growing in their data-driven journey. And we've used both out-of-the-box test cases that have been made available through the DataOps platform and DBT under the hood, as well as custom ones that we've developed. These test cases can do everything from putting a full stop to the pipeline for instances where you don't want dirty data going into your data warehouse. All informational type test cases where we can show you've got 90% values in a field that looks like maybe there shouldn't be null values, or you have dates in an amount field or dollar amounts in a date field. We can look across all of that with these test cases and use the pipelines to actually vet that data, review it, and report back on it. Mark, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I just did one I was building large language models and fine-tuning them in a DataOps.live platform to compare the models with the fine-tuned model versus the large language model. I created my own test to make sure it was within a certain threshold, comparing those two. And if you put the sync to the catalog at the end of the pipeline to Data.World, those tests will show up right in your catalog too. So yeah.
Okay, great. What I'm seeing is the last question here, unless anyone has other questions they want to drop in to the Q&A chat. Do either of these solutions have built-in AI functionality?
Well, I just demoed it in our demo there when I showed you how we built the actual customer spend model. That was using generative AI underneath the covers.
Yeah, we have functionality very similar to the DataOps.live functionality that will help you do things like generate descriptions, generate use cases for your data, things like that. That all relies on generative AI. We also have a product that we call the AI context engine that packages up metadata in the data catalog for use in RAG applications that need to access your enterprise data as well.
Great, excellent. So I'm not seeing any other questions coming through the Q&A module. So at this time, we are at the 11 o'clock hour Central Time. I just want to thank everyone for attending this. I want to thank you all for your time. Mark, John, Steve, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for providing great demos. It's been very informative, very helpful. As always, anyone that has questions, you can go to any of the sites that were listed on the main slide. We will be sending out a copy of this recording to all of the people that attended, as well as posting it on our respective websites and social media. So if anyone would like to go back and review anything, they're able to do that as well. And then any questions, feel free to send it to one or all of us. Don't feel like you need to reach out to everybody on this call. We all collaborate together. We're a very tight partnership. So if you have questions and you're not quite sure who to reach out to, feel free to reach out to me, and I can make sure that your question gets to the appropriate hands and that we can start a conversation. All right. Thank you for your time, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye now.
Bye.